In our final segment this morning, we want to introduce you to the New York billionaire who would like to be mayor of New York City. He is a lifelong Democrat who recently became a Republican, and he has set his sights on a run for mayor in 2009. Sound familiar? Tom Golisano was a billionaire who spent big money trying to become governor. And then, of course, there was Michael Bloomberg, who spent more than $150 million of his own money to win 2 terms in office. Joining us this morning is John Catsimatidis. John, I hope I said that correctly.
Yes, you did.
Oh, good. That's going to be trouble for New Yorkers, though, to get that one out, right?
Well, it may be, but, you know, kids in high school used to call me Catsy.
So maybe you'll use that.
You never know.
Okay. Let's get to know you a little bit, because most New Yorkers don't know you. So tell us about you. I know you own grocery stores.
Well, you know, I came here, I was an immigrant. I came here 6 months old. My grandfathers came here in 1911 and 1913, but they left my father in the old country to take care of the family. And my father didn't come till after World War II, and I was 6 months old when I came here.
When did you become a U.S. citizen?
When I was 5 years old.
And do you remember that?
I have the citizenship papers, and it was a wonderful thing. I remember how great I felt. But I grew up in the poor side of New York. I grew up on 135th Street in Manhattan. I went to PS 192, and then I went to parochial school in the Bronx. Then I went to Brooklyn Tech in Brooklyn.
And I think you left high school, didn't you? Or college, rather. You left college, right?
Well, yes. You know, I had the congressional nomination for West Point when I was in high school, but I ended up going to New York University. I attended 4 years. Oh,
you did go through 4 years. Okay.
4 years and 8 credits short. I didn't attend because I already had a store in my senior year in college.
A grocery store.
A grocery store. And
that's really where you started to make your money, in the grocery store business.
Well, I ended up, I was making more. I was an electrical engineer. I was supposed to be an electrical engineer, and I ended up making a lot more money running the grocery store. And I remember how my mother cried. My father yelled, you know, we sent you to college for 4 years to become a laborer. And, you know, I worked hard, and that's, you know, the American dream. You know, I worked hard. I had a good education, and it was part of America. You know, so every immigrant would like to do what I did.
Right. Oh, I'm sure. You started up these Red Apple grocery stores.
Yes.
Bought more and more.
More and more. We went up and down the west side of Manhattan. And then you also, by the age of 25, I had like 10 stores.
And then you also went into real estate, and then eventually into energy, correct?
Yes.
And now you're worth, according to Forbes magazine, $2.1 billion.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Well, yeah, you know, you have to, you know, sometimes blink your eyes and say, okay, is this real?
Yeah.
And, you know, come back to reality, because I'm no different today than I was when I was living on 135th Street. But that's, you know, one of the reasons I'm doing what I'm doing. I love New York. I think New York is the greatest place in the world.
But I mean, a lot of us love New York.
Yes.
But why do you want to be mayor of New York?
You know, I've done in the last few years a lot of charities, a lot of work, but the ultimate give back. The ultimate give back is when you give of yourself. And Mike Bloomberg has done a great job. He followed Giuliani, who cleaned up the city as far as crime. And I don't want to see this city go backwards. I do not want to see the city go back to the 1970s. I remember the New York City when there was dope addicts walking around the streets. I mean, Diana, you must remember that from the West Side. There was you were afraid to walk to Amsterdam Avenue. You were afraid to walk to Columbus Avenue. And it wasn't until the late 70s Columbus Avenue became better. We don't want to go back to the old New York. New York has come a long way.
Well, do you think it's better now because of the way Bloomberg has managed the city, perhaps more like a business than as a, you know, as a business person rather than as a politician? Is that what you think needs to continue?
Well, I think we got to get more business people into government. I think Mike Bloomberg has done a great job. I think Rudy Giuliani did a great job as far as...
But Rudy Giuliani is a politician. He wasn't a politician,
but he did a good job cleaning up crime in New York. Made New York a safe city, which was important. Mayor Bloomberg has did a great job as far as fiscal responsibility.
Mayor Bloomberg, by the way, lifelong Democrat, switched to the Republican Party. You've just now switched to the Republican Party. Why'd you make that switch?
I felt that, I am a pro-business person and pro-people. So a New York Republican is pro-business, pro-people. And I think I have a better chance of winning the nomination and becoming mayor of New York.
Okay. How much money are you willing to spend?
I'll spend what it takes to spend. I know what Mayor Bloomberg.
You know what Mayor Bloomberg spent.
I know what Mayor Bloomberg spent.
70 to 80 million in that first race.
He's worth a lot more money than I am. A few extra billion.
He actually is worth quite a bit more than you are. He's worth about 11 billion.
Yeah, but how much was he worth 8 years ago?
Okay. Okay. So, but are you willing to spend $80 million?
I'm willing to spend what it takes. I don't want to see New York go back. Schwarzenegger in California did a great commercial. He did a commercial with a person walking backwards, and he asked the question to Californians, do you want to see California go backwards? And the answer was no. He went from -18 to +18.
Well, does it concern you that the other candidates out there who are considering a run for mayor, Christine Quinn, Anthony Weiner, Bill Thompson, do you think that they would take the city backwards? You don't think any of these are?
I have a great deal of concern about professional politicians. As a businessman, I look to what I can give to the city, what I can make happen in the city with no concern about myself. Mm-hmm. Just like the Mayor Bloomberg. Professional politicians they're always what's in it for me.
But $100 million of yours could go a long way in this city, being spent just to help the city versus you're running for mayor.
Well, we do a lot of charity work, and I do the Police Athletic League, I do the Boy Scouts, I do all kinds of charities. So we already do that. But what's the next step after that is giving of oneself. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's what I want to do.
A couple of quick things on issues. Congestion pricing, where do you stand on that?
I think New York City, Manhattan has a tremendous problem. And I don't think we have all the answers yet, but we have to solve the problem in Manhattan.
Okay, I didn't hear yes or no. Do you support congestion pricing?
I think something has to be done.
Well, what is it? Do you support congestion pricing?
There's got to be an answer. I'm not a candidate yet. I think we have to do a lot more study.
Okay, that's a non-answer. I'll take that, though.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks for being with us. Once you make up your mind, we'll certainly want to talk to you more about this.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thanks so much. And that'll do it for this edition of Up Close. I'm Diana Williams. We thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good one.